Welcome back to Reeyada International School Monthly Podcast. Today is a very special episode for us. We are incredibly proud to welcome one of our own former kindergarten student who has grown into a professional mental health counselor after completing her master's degree in Australia. So please help me join in welcoming Reeyada Khan. Reeyada, welcome to our monthly podcast.
Firstly, I'd like to thank Ms. Zubayda for giving me and other students the opportunity to be a part of the Reeyada International School monthly podcast. Through this podcast today, we can raise awareness of mental health issues and other important topics.
Thank you, Leila. And I would just want to ask one question before you take over. Reeyada, what inspired you to select especially mental health issues?
I chose this field because I personally, as a child, struggled with anxiety. My first school was where also my mom was my first teacher, and as kids we're very attached to our moms. And after kindergarten I was supposed to change my school, and that caused a lot of separation anxiety in me. And I was so young that I did not have the emotional vocabulary to even say that to even express what I'm feeling. And that really affected me because obviously anxiety was not the main problem. The main problem was not knowing how to manage it. And I feel like I remember in my new school, I would just go running to the principal's office to call my mom from the school so that she could just come and pick me up and I could just feel safe again. And I have always craved that feeling of safety. And I realized how many young students, how many babies and how many adults must be withholding that kind of fear, and they would wanting to be given the vulnerability and the space to be able to manage what they're going through and to also learn about what they're going through, which is why I felt like I should plunge into this field and be able to help the masses overcome these fears, because I have gone through it myself. And I felt like I could bring a difference by contributing to the field of mental health counseling.
Okay, mental health is still considered stigmatized in many societies. People are often afraid to speak openly about anxiety, depression, or emotional struggles. What do you think is the main reason behind this fear, and how can we begin to break that stigma?
That is a very important question, Leila. Mental health stigma stems from fear, misunderstandings, and the cultural silence around emotions. We're scared to speak about emotions. And I feel like neurologically and biologically, psychological distress is treatable. It's not a part of a personality. It's a part of our psychological distress, which stems from environment, biology, and fear. And I feel like it happens because we do not have enough awareness in our society about it. We haven't normalized it. We're scared of labels. And I feel like we could get rid of the stigma if we just, especially in schools, if we introduce more emotional vocabulary in the teachers, in the organizing team of counseling, and have a board of counseling members, have a good proper school psychologist, well-trained teachers who know how to emotionally and proactively support a child, support the peers, and support the co-workers and colleagues. And I feel like that would hopefully bring a very good shift.
Do you think cultural beliefs play a role?
I do believe cultural beliefs play a big role, because a lot of this mental health stigma people think it comes from poor character and lack of faith, which is so not true. It just comes from suppressing and repressing your emotions. It comes from not being given the safety space to speak up about it.
Okay, so every year our school marks mental health awareness initiatives by inviting doctors and specialists to speak to students, especially teenagers.
Yeah.
That is why this monthly podcast is so important. It connects our community with professions from vital fields such as mental health. In your professional opinion, should schools be doing more to help with mental health struggles?
Definitely, they should. I think the best way to start is by talking about it. Like, start talking about it, introduce emotional vocabulary and emotional literacy in students, talk about it in class, train teachers in being vulnerable with students, recognizing early signs and behaviors, because early intervention changes lives. I feel like schools, and also like fear, because parents do not like to put a label on their children. If they put a label on the child as to if they have autism or ADHD, it instills a lot of fear and it instills a lot of judgment in them as to like, what is wrong with my child? But it's not about what's wrong with the child, it's about what's happening to them and what they're going through. And I feel like if schools talk more about it, if they introduce initiatives where they have mental health campaigns, mental health workshops, students are taught how to breathe properly, like focus on their breathing, focus on how to manage themselves, calm themselves down, and I feel like there should also be a reporting system, like a confidential reporting system, as to if a student is not comfortable going up to a teacher and talking to them directly, there should be like an anonymous confidential reporting system for them to be able to trust the school system, trust their environment, trust that they will be heard and they will not be judged.
This has been so informative. But recently we started to hear that mental health issues are increasing globally, particularly among young people since the pandemic.
Yeah.
Why do you think today's generation is more affected than previous generations?
So I do feel like they're not more affected by previous generations. I feel like there is more visibility, more diagnosis, more language, and more screening tools to reveal what's happening with the adolescents and with the young adults, with the youth, with adults. And I feel like in the olden times, we did not have the tools, we did not have the knowledge to talk about these things. We would just frame everything as sadness or, just like a bad mood. But now we have different words for it. We've got depression, we've got dopamine hikes, we've got anxiety, we've got trauma. So in my trauma-informed perspective, I do believe that this was more of a skill issue than an epidemic, and I feel like adolescents now have the online space to learn more, to learn and speak about it, to learn about what mental health actually means. They have more awareness. They know how to speak about it. They know how to and I feel like there is a very positive conversation to this, and that is they are actively seeking mental health help. They're seeking therapy. They're talking about it. They're willing to do it. They're willing to feel better. They're willing to change about it. And I feel like it does come off as visibility, like a lot of mental health visibility, because there is so much discourse around it. We feel like, it's becoming more prevalent, but it's not becoming more prevalent. It's just revealing itself more now. And I think that is a good change.
And we were really curious to ask you about what advice would you give to the students who are considering to become mental health counselors in the future?
For students wanting to pursue this career, I feel like you need to be very emotionally intelligent, emotionally aware, and self-aware. Therapy is not just about sitting, talking, and giving advice. It's about holding space. It's about knowing how to regulate yourself and regulate someone else. It is about sitting in somebody's discomfort, because you exist in a limited society at times in your own cultures, and when you're exposed to different cultures, you will learn so much about them, and there will be conversations that will actively make you feel uncomfortable. And it is very important to know how to sit through that discomfort, understand your own emotional triggers, understand and engage in active supervision, and understand that counseling, psychology, mental health, it's a lifelong learning process. You will always learn something. You will always be learning. I learn the most from my clients. And I feel like it's not just about talking, it's about having the clinical competence, having the depth and insight of mental health, of emotional awareness, having the integrity, having the will to practice ethically and intentionally. And I feel like once you master this, once you master your own, because I don't think you can help anyone if you do not understand your own emotional patterns. And once you do that, I feel like it can be one of the most meaningful careers somebody can pursue. So I would absolutely encourage, because I feel like by getting into this field, I've also been able to manage myself from various stresses, from stresses that I could not have imagined that I could have ever managed or gone through just by myself, because I live overseas alone. I do not live with my family, and I feel like there is no society, I'm so used to living in society, in living in, you know, a community that
Okay, what age do you think that mental health becomes a challenge for people?
So mental health challenges, they start from early childhood. It can also be genetic, like if, you know, a mother has been going through depression and she's pregnant with the child at the time, it can transfer. There has been evidences of trauma being transferred.
Oh, okay.
But if you talk about adolescence, it starts from the age of 12 to 18.
I think that's where the teenage starts, yeah?
Because when you become an adolescent, when you are stepping out and putting yourself out there in the world, for adolescents, it's about, because you are going to find your identity. You know, when you're a baby, you live with the identity with you. But when you grow up, you are going to find yourself. You're going to ask yourself, who am I? Who am I in this world? Who am I without the culture, the language, and the things I'm studying about? Who am I without school? Who am I as an individual? And there will be more academic load. There will be more academic pressure to pursue a career, to do and perform better. There will be like a lot of competition. There will be changes, neurological and biological changes in your body, which you will be accepting. It's because you were just a little child and now you're
Adult, yeah.
And there will be a lot of self-doubt, there will be a lot of self-esteem issues, and that's when like it really starts to trigger you. And I feel like now there is also an aspect to it. We are very openly exposed to political issues. I feel like you, because of the recent issues that happen, you can actually watch a war on your reel happening. You can watch genocide happening on your reels. And I feel like it is very overwhelming, because especially, it is depressing to watch. And when you're exposed to such heightened levels of stress for such a long period of time without even knowing what this actually is, what's happening to me, what am I feeling in my body, it is going to transfer and convert into depression, anxiety, trauma, and just burnout, all of those things. So I feel like I would like to give an advice here. If you want to observe, and for teachers and for you as well, if you want to observe that if a child is going through something, see if there is a personality shift. See if their behaviors are changing. These are the signs you should look out for. If they become very irritable, rebellious, angry, very rude, it's actually grief. It's actually sadness that's coming in that conversation. It is not attention-seeking behavior, but it looks like it. And you need to know, why are they being so, agitated? And you also need to see if there is persistent social withdrawal.
They're
not engaging with their friends anymore. They refuse to engage in the norm, in the routine that they follow. And you do see like, there is a personality shift. This person was not like this. What is happening to them? They are not talking about, and you will see that there is verbal or inverbal, non-verbal expression of hopelessness, worthlessness. You will be able to notice these are some signs, and they will not engage with friends. They will not be. It is going to be difficult.
It is a difficult issue. It is
very sensitive how you approach.
They are very sensitive.
Not judge them. This is the last. This is when you do not need to judge them at all. This is when you need to hold that space with them and give them an ear and just listen to what is happening.
Like a comfort space.
So
they can come from
and
they know that they can come to you.
And prevention is better than crisis management. I would say try to prevent this from happening rather than having to manage risk assessment or do a risk assessment on them. See if they are actively self-harming themselves or talking about self-harm or talking about, I'm so done with this life. Because you're just 12-year-old, you're a 15-year-old, how are you done with this life? I want to help you. I want to listen to you. Teachers should have that linguistic capability to communicate in a sweet, in a calm, in a very, in a very warm way, so that they feel like, oh, I have this space. This is not, because school is your second home.
Yeah.
You are here, you are learning, you are developing here.
Yeah.
And in this developmental stage, I feel like school can do a lot to contribute to an adolescent.
That's very true, very true, yeah.
So, as Ms. Zubaydah said earlier, some parents still believe that mental health is just a phase or not a real illness.
Yeah.
What would you say to those parents?
So it is not it's not just a phase. You need to see if a habit or if the signs that I just mentioned, persistent social withdrawal, body image issues, wanting to withdraw from society, like a lot of irritability, anger, and a lot of resentment coming. And I feel like when they get agitated, the first resentment is towards parents. And I feel like parents take that very personally.
Yeah.
I feel like this is your chance to step in for them. This is your chance to hold their hand and tell them that, and like you need to see if these, because obviously teenagers have mood swings. Mood swings are different from these signs. If you see it's persisting for more than 2 weeks, for more than a month, for more than 3 months, it is serious. You need to seek professional counseling, professional psychological help, and help your child. Because what is the point of an individual achieving awards when they're happy?
Not happy, yes.
And I feel like a healthy and regulated young mind will perform and will achieve more success than a pressured one. I feel like they will be able to do things naturally in their environment. And I feel like parents just need to understand that you need to listen without judging and understanding without giving too much advice. You need to see that this is an individual. They are becoming an own individual. They're not your babies just anymore. They're also they're trying to find themselves. And in that process, there will be some outrage because they're not understanding what's going on with them. So you just need to give that moment of support. Be soft, put your ego and anger on the side for a moment. And you need to realize that this is my child. I need to just sit with them and see what's going on with them.
Yeah. Family connection is very important. Yes, very important.
I feel like teach them about emotions. As soon as they're verbal, teach them about emotions. Teach them that this can happen to you. These stresses, because you have lived a life of your own and you know what can cause stress. You know what kind of words, what kind of behavior, what kind of bullying in school, what kind of academic stresses can trigger what kind of behavior, because you have been through that yourself. Try to be more emotionally aware about your own patterns and then see if your child is following those patterns and educate them about it. Talk about it as much as you can. Talking is the first step. Everything comes after that. Have an open conversation with your child. Have the open-mindedness to receive what they're giving you.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's what I'm saying. It's really needed. I think school and parent together. Yes.
I would like to thank Rehab for being with us in this episode today. It was really helpful and really informative. And I would really love to thank our audience for listening to this podcast. And I hope they have learned something valuable from today's episode.
Thank you, Leila, for being our co-host. Seeing our KG student grow into a counselor who now heals other people is one of our proudest moments. This is why we do what we do. Thank you, Rehab. To our audience, I hope we all learned something from today's discussion and work together to understand that mental health is not something we should hide. It is something we must address with love, understanding, and care, and open about it. We know that some students suffer silently due to personal or family problems but are afraid to speak to their parents. I hope parents will take it seriously by allowing their children to feel safe and open about themselves and provide a space, like an open space at home, safe home environment. Okay, Reha, would you like to close and say something?
Leila, for having me and giving me this space to talk about this. I feel like it is very important, and I just want to say one thing to students, that distress does not disqualify you from success. It just prepares you. You are not behind in life, you are becoming. You just need to connect your parents, and for your parents, I would like to say your students and your children do not need constant correction, they need connection. And I feel like a healthy mind and a healthy mental health individual can perform way better than life than a stressed one. And I feel like empathy is very important, and I hope that every student gets that space at Reeyada to express themselves however they want.
Thank you very much. I hope that if you stay longer, that we can continue. It's a very important topic, and I hope that next time when you come, we will take this mental health issue to the next phase. And thank you, Rehab, and thank you, Leila, and thank you to our audience. Stay tuned. More to come. Thank you.